Alright guys, this video is obviously on the law of sines. Let's just get started here. So let's say you're in Khan Academy, right? And I assigned you, in this case, law of sines. Which IM3, I'm sure I did. IM2, I did not. But again, it's worth watching. If you're an IM2, why not just search it, try it? I'll give you credit for it. But anyways, again, I'm going to skip this video and this video here. Why? Because I don't want to bore myself. I want to get the work done, right? So I'm going to go right to practice right here. As you can see, I clicked it. It's in blue. And again, this is solving triangles using the law of sines. And here's our first problem. Notice it's not a right triangle. The reason why we have to use law of sines is most triangles are not right triangles. And therefore, I can't use Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? I can't use SOHCAHTOA, sine, cosine, and tangent. It's not a right triangle. So, I'm going to use the law of sines here. Now, the law of sines basically says this. If I take A, which is a side, I match it up with the sine of its opposite angle, which I'll call big A. And I know that equals B over the sine of big B, which equals C over the sine of big C. Now, let's see what we have here. Notice I'm giving this side here 10. That's opposite angle big B, so this is little b. Little b is always opposite big B. That's how they do it. Notice they gave us big C here, angle C, and opposite of it is the 11. So the 11 is our C. And so we're going to use the second two ratios of the law of sines to solve this one. I know for C, it's 11. And 11 goes with or over the sine of big C, which is 51. So I have 11 over the sine of 51 degrees. That's going to equal, little b I know is 10. What they're asking me to find is angle B, big B, which is the sine, in this case, of big B. I don't know what it is. Good thing I can cross multiply and solve it, right? So what am I going to do next? I'm going to do the sine of 51. And then I'm going to cross multiply it by timesing by 10, right? And so here is our setup. Cross multiplying this way, of course, I have 11 times the sine of B. That's not showing up very well. Let's see if black shows up better. I have 11 times the sine of B, angle B that is. That's going to equal, again, cross multiplying this way, 10 times the sine of 51 degrees. So I'm now going to click on that show calculator there. And by the way, this is one of the reasons why I want you to do this with me, guys. Because you have to get used to clicking with the darn mouse on that annoying calculator to give you. Because they're not going to let you use your own calculator. Okay? You have to learn how to use this calculator. Alright? And so I did the sine of 51. As you can see right there, I times it by 10. I got 7.77. Okay? So I did the sine of 51 times 10. 7.77 equals 11 times the sine of B. To solve for sine of B, I'm going to divide both sides by 11. So I'm taking this 7.7. By the way, notice how I did not clear my screen. I left that whole number in there because I'm going to get a more accurate answer at the end. I divided by 11. I got 0.7064. Okay. So I know that this 7.77 divided by 11 is, what was it again? 0.7064. Just want to make sure I was doing it right. 0.7064. Now that equals the sine of B, right? So to find angle B, I'm going to do the sine inverse on this. And so you're going to go to your calculator. You're going to do sine inverse on, actually, wrong screen, sine inverse on this. And the calculator shows us a sine, which is short for arc sine. That's another name for sine inverse, okay? And so I'm doing the arc sine or sine inverse on my answer. And by the way, right at the bottom of your calculator, guys, is that ANS button for short for answer. What it's going to do is plug this whole number in so you don't have to retype it in. And as you can see, here's my answer. And it said round off to the nearest degree. So I'm going to say that's 45 degrees. So we just figured out, guys, that this angle, angle B right here, is 45 degrees. I'm going to type it right in there. I'm going to click check. It's going to give me the congratulations, I did it right. Okay? Let's do one more, which is a little different. Here we go. And by the way, don't forget to pause or rewind my video if I went a little too fast there. Okay, so let's take a look at this one here. Just want to make sure I didn't skip one by accident. Here we go. So notice, guys, they gave me big C. Opposite of it is little c. So I already know I'm going to do 14 divided by the sine of 58 degrees. You always match up the opposite side with the sine of its opposite angle. That's the ratio we're using. Equals. And this time they gave me sine, or B. So I'm going to do the sine of 77 degrees. That goes with our missing side. And they were asking for little b, or as they call AC. Okay? And there's our setup. Again, do you agree? The opposite side, little b, is opposite of 77 degrees. So I'm going to say b over the sine of 77 degrees. So, picking up the pace here a little bit, I'm going to cross multiply. 14 times the sine of 77 degrees equals b times the sine of 58 degrees. And I'm going to do this in my calculator, and then I'm going to divide by the sine of 58 degrees, because by dividing by the sine of 58, I get little b. That missing side, also called AC, right here, is little b. Okay? So, that's what I'm going to do. With my calculator, I'm going to do 14 times the sine of 77. That's 13.64 and some change. I'm going to take that answer, divide by the sine of 58. Here is the missing side. That 8 tells me to round this 0 right there up to 1. So I'm going to say 16.1. So right here, I'm going to type in 16.1. I'm going to click the check button. It's going to tell me I did a great job. Okay? Guys, how about one more? The video's going to be a little longer than usual, but oh well. So, on this one, notice we were given angle A, and its opposite was 11. So I already know 11 over the sine of 80 is one of my ratios. They gave me the 9, which is opposite of angle B there. And that's what we're trying to find. So I know 9 goes with the sine of big B. So, I'm going to cross multiply here. 9 times the sine of 80 degrees. That's going to equal 11 times the sine of B. Then I'm going to divide by 11 both sides. And that tells me what the sine of big B is going to be. It's going to be whatever that is. So let's go to our calculator. I'm going to do 9 times the sine of 80. There's my answer. I'm going to take that answer, divide by 11, and I get 0.8057. So sine of B is 0.8057. Again, notice I did not clear a screen on my calculator because I'm going to use that whole number, not just 0.8057. Now to find B here, I'm now going to do the sine inverse, because sine inverse gets rid of the sine. And so as you can see right here, I took this answer, see it right there. I did the arc sine, or as we say, the sine inverse. I press this button right here, and then I press the answer button at the bottom of my calculator. There's my answer. That 8 tells me to round that 6 up to a 7. So my answer is going to be 53. Oh, actually, they want the nearest degree. So, got to watch that. So this is in degrees. We're going to round that up to 54 degrees. So I'm going to type in 54 degrees. And I'm going to get the correct answer. Now, guys, hopefully you're following along, but this video is worth watching more than once. And as you can see, I did get 4 out of 4 right. We were doing this practice right here. So now that I got that done, I'm just going to click on next lesson, which is the law of cosines. Okay? And so guys, this is basically how it's done. Please watch, pause, rewind as needed. But this is how you do the law of sines. And hopefully you are using a calculator on the computer to get used to that clunkiness of it. Okay? Thank you for your time, guys. See you around.